Hello everybody, welcome to Costume Corner for the month of December. This month has been highly anticipated by both myself and Liesl. I'm Ross, by the way.
Hi, Ross.
Hi, and Liesl's back. She's back from her adventure in wherever it is that she went. Where did you go?
When?
That time that I magicked you out of the...
When?
When we were making the wands?
I don't remember.
Good. Well, in that case, then, yes, Liesl's back for this new costume corner, and we're going to be finishing up our final PVC pipe project for this series. So I know the past couple that we've been kind of building up to something like this, and I think we're finally ready to show you the PVC pipe Morningstar.
Wow.
I know. Look at this thing, right?
Applause.
Woo!
Applause is necessary.
So for this project, it's going to be a culmination of everything we've been working on so far. Again, we will be starting from that sort of PVC pipe wood grain texture thing that we talked about a couple of videos ago.
Right.
So, of course, feel free to review that if you just need a refresher on how that whole process works.
Absolutely.
However, from there, we're going to go on and build something that I think is pretty cool, as you just saw a moment ago.
Super cool.
So, you know what? Let's go on ahead and show them what they need, shall we?
All right, let's look.
All right. So, for this project, you're going to need the following. And first of all, inside of your bag, you'll have the following.
Oh.
An 8-inch diameter foam sphere.
Fun.
So, kind of like that.
Have everything up there.
You'll have 8 4-inch long foam spikes.
Oh.
These will form the, spiked portion of your Morningstar.
These are really fun.
And one 2-foot by 1 inch, 2-foot long by 1 inch diameter PVC pipe.
Very nice.
So, this is what actually is going to be included in your kit. Now, you'll probably still want a lot of the same tools you used in the past couple of projects. If you still need some, please contact the library. We do have some extras, so we might be able to get some for you.
Sure.
Otherwise, I can send you a list of the supplies if you wish to track them down yourself, anything like that. We're happy to help. So,
absolutely. All right.
yeah. And so, just to enumerate the additional supplies you'll need, I figure we should probably still go over that.
Perfect.
You're going to want the following. You're going to want a steel brush.
Okay.
So you can clean off your file. You're going to want sandpaper, probably 100 grit if you can get it. Coarser grit is better than the fine grit because that works a lot faster.
Yeah.
And we're not really doing fine detail work as far as sanding goes.
Right.
You're going to need some type of glue. Today we're going to be using Gorilla Super Glue. So, but other brands are available. If you can get it, low temperature, there are low temperature specific hot glue glue sticks that work on foam that won't actually melt it. You do not want to use high temperature though. That will melt your styrofoam.
Yeah.
So,
which you don't want to do.
Definitely not. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
More importantly, too, spray adhesives are also a no-go. The propellant can also, it chemically reacts with the styrofoam and can melt that as well. And I believe that should be everything. And so with our introductions out of the way, we're going to go on ahead and get started with the project. Now, this is probably the section that you're most familiar with at this point. We've done it for the past 2 projects. But we're just going to go over it again really briefly, especially if you missed the earlier videos. So we're going to start by preparing our PVC pipes. I've already sanded mine down, but Liesl will be sanding hers with some 100 grit sandpaper. And then I will be cutting grooves out using a file. Now, in our first kit that we handed out a couple of months ago, as of this recording, you should still have these tools. If you don't, though, please feel free to contact the library because we should be able to still get you some extras. And more importantly, safety first. Liesel's already a step ahead of me on this. While you're working with these tools, be sure to wear a mask. This PVC dust can get into your lungs, and that's not great. It's not going to do as much damage as, say, like plexiglass, but I still do not recommend. So
Not a good idea.
if you don't wear glasses, also having some safety goggles or something similar would also be a
Yes.
good idea, but definitely the mask is the more important one.
But we're 4 eyes, so.
So 8 eyes total.
Yes!
Together we form a spider.
Math. And arachnids.
And spider. So we've also got a convenient trash bag here between us, so that way the shavings will go into the trash bag and not on the floor. As always, this is a good idea to do outside if you can, if you have that space available, but if not, then yeah, make sure that you have a place already ready to go to, get your shavings.
Yes.
So we're going to go in and get started, and enjoy.
Two hours later.
So, now that we've finished our respective tasks, we're going to switch tools. So, file to you,
Thank you.
sandpaper to me, because of course, keep in mind, after you put the grooves in, you do need to sand it again, so that way you don't, cut yourself on any of the little sharp edges you might have made. They're not going to be super sharp, but it still would suck to, pick it up and then just run your finger across it and ow. No good.
No splinters.
No good. Yes.
We don't like splinters.
It shouldn't take as long to sand down this portion though, because you've already kind of sanded it. But just make sure that it feels nice and smooth. And there you go.
Perfect.
Now we switch off again, but mine should be ready to go now. So Liesel's just going to finish up some sanding on her end. So again, we're just kind of going through this the fast way, but if you do check out our video from before, we go over the step-by-step details there. So now that portion's done, we can remove our masks because we won't need it for the next parts.
Yeah, and we got all of the dust in the bag.
Yes, 100%.
Yep.
Please don't check. So, Jeff, if you're watching, it is absolutely all clean.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Moving on.
So, yeah, from here, we've got, and you will be provided with, like I said, the 2-foot length. So, this should be enough to make a decent size, whacking stick, I guess. But that's kind of boring by itself.
It
so,
is.
let's go on ahead and add some detail to it.
Yes.
What we're going to do is you'll also have, as mentioned earlier, a giant foam ball. So Liesel has one as well. So the first thing that you're going to need to do to get this attached is you're going to want to make a groove in the bottom. There's a couple of different ways to do this. You can do it with a craft knife or something similar if you want to mark it out and do it. What I did really is I just stuck it at the top and just started pushing. You might have to lean it against a flat surface and kind of twist it some.
I'm going to put mine on the ground.
Yeah, but you basically just want enough so that it's not it doesn't necessarily have to go deep, but you definitely want there to be some space in between there. So that way it actually looks like it's attached and not just glued to the top of something. I get no respect here. And then while Liesel's finishing up that, I'm also going to remember to clean my tools, because you always should. So, brush some of the dust out of this one. Brushing away the dust. This is my brushing song.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that should be fine.
All right, cool.
There's no set depth you have to get to, just whatever you feel like is going to give you enough so that way when you connect it, there's some wiggle room in there for you to put additional glue inside and that way it gives it some extra hold.
Okay, I need a little more then.
Okay, so yeah, it can take a little bit if you're just pushing it in, but it can take a little while too if you're carving it out. So no matter what you're doing, it sort of takes some time.
And some strength.
A little bit, yeah. One thing that I've also done is you can actually put the ball on the table, and as long as you hold it down, you can just kind of push down with the, kind of like that. But these things aren't hollow on the inside, so you're not going to, get to a point where it's just going to go all the way through or something like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's probably for the best.
Nobody wants that. So once you have that impression, it's going to be in there. I went ahead and left this little bit on the side so I can carve it off later, just because I wanted to get kind of the center point of the ball. But really,
I
wherever...
did mine right around that.
That's fine. I mean, wherever you put it is fine. So it's just when I did it, that was my thinking process, which is why it may look a little different from Liesel's.
Yeah.
The next part is going to be a little tricky because we are using super glue, which does bond pretty quickly.
Yes.
However, it's not instantaneous, so you are still going to have to hold it for a little while. Otherwise, you may have, the bits that you're trying to glue on just slowly kind of fall and plunk off, and that's no fun.
No fun at all.
Nobody wants to have a Morningstar like that. So what I recommend when using super glue is, first of all, open it.
That's always a good idea.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty smart. I think I did that wrong. He says I'm pretty smart. And then opens the entire thing. So anyway, I'm going to start by, you actually can ideally apply it to both ends of what you're trying to apply to. And that does help. So, and you're going to want to do this pretty quickly because it's going to start setting almost immediately. And so hold. And then you need to hold it.
Thank you.
For at least, I would give it a minute. But putting the glue on both ends also does help it bond to each other.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little bit stronger.
What carry it on?
2 hours later.
4 hours later.
That was the best 60 seconds of my life. Well, time for bed.
Who lives in a pineapple under the pineapple under the...
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that pine.
Yes, it's so
Great
good.
one. Okay. Hey, it's Reunion Tower.
It is Reunion Tower, Texas.
Woo! Go Texas, go Tejas. I was doing the thing. So, when it's upside down, it still holds. See? It's like magic.
Oh, 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 it's magic, you know.
Actually, it's just some glue. Anyway.
But it's magic.
So, you are going to want to let this set for a little while still before you, and this is going to be a little unstable. I would not recommend this prop for like combat purposes. You definitely don't want to like go around with it. The other cool thing though is that once it's in, if you've got some, extra space, you can put like little bits of extra glue in there, just to give it more of a bond.
And you could also fill in those spaces with another kind of glue.
Exactly.
Something that might take a little bit longer to dry, but...
Like if you had like even Elmer's school glue, honestly, you
Yes.
can put it in there
Absolutely.
and then it will dry eventually. Or again, if you have access to hot glue, again, that's ideal. It's
Yeah.
just we did not have access to that for this particular purpose, but
Yes.
that's okay. We make do with what we have.
We do indeed.
Plus, there's more than one way to make a project. So, now for the next fun part, we're going to attach some spikes.
Yay!
Because what we have right now is Reunion Tower,
Yes.
which is pretty cool, but that is not a Morningstar.
No.
Morningstars have spikes. So, that's not how you attach it. Well done, though. The balancing was pretty good, I have to say. Like, I did this, and then it was just like,
See? You got it.
Well, it's, nope,
He's
there
a
it
little
goes.
clown. Let's race.
For what?
I don't know. Or not race, but let's
See
let's
how long we can...
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I see.
Okay.
I was.
I think you started a little bit before me. It's probably a tie.
Anyway, this is not where I was expecting this to go today. This is why you aren't always here now.
Yes, exactly. This is why I get sent across the library.
So for the next part, again, you're just going to want to, this is also going to be a little tricky because this is more of a flat surface and this is obviously a rounded surface. So you're going to want to put a pretty good amount of glue over kind of the entirety of the surface here. And also the surface where you're going to put. I might be running out of glue here.
Totally fine.
And then just attach it like so. Boop.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
It looks like a bird.
Yes,
Like
or
one of those birds that does dips its little head.
yeah, a little bit, or
Yeah.
like that spokesperson for Jack in the Box.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I probably can't list for copyright reasons.
No.
But it does look like that, like the head.
Totally. Yep. Yeah.
So again, for each of these, you're going to need to let this dry for a little bit before you really want to move it around like I'm doing, because it's already starting to kind of come loose. So I'm going to want to hold that back down again for a second. Oh yeah, there we go. And you pretty much do that 7 more times.
Yay.
So we're going to do that real quick.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you have a specific idea for a Morningstar in mind, feel free to mark where you want all of the different things to go. But yeah, center of mass is probably the best point to get this stuff in, because that's going to be the strongest bond point to your styrofoam ball here.
And then it will kind of mush outward.
Mush is a very technical term.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, I take it back. You can be here for the rest of the...
Oh, thank you.
Again, though, it is a case of you have to hold it down for a little bit just to make sure that it's going to stick.
Yes.
Because the last thing you want is for a piece to fall off in the middle of your, convention or party or whatever it is that you've made this
Or
for.
Tuesday night.
I mean, yeah, Tuesday night is usually Morningstar night down at the Western Sizzler, so usually where I go to hang out.
Yep.
And kids, if you don't know what a Western Sizzler is, ask one of your parents. They probably have also forgotten. I think we had like the last Sizzler near where I grew up.
Really?
Yeah, never went there. So be sure to tip your waitress
Yeah.
or waiter or anybody else who's helping you.
Just tip everybody.
Just tip everyone. And not lame tips like talk to everyone. Like, no, give them an actual tip. So, see, we've already kind of got this, like, weird thing going on where it's like, haha. They don't use Morningstars like that. That's not how you use a Morningstar.
You don't?
I know. I was so disappointed to find out.
I am very disappointed.
I am disappointed.
I gave you one of mine.
I apologize. Thank you. I'm so sorry you gave me one of yours.
Exactly. How dare you give me one of mine.
How dare you not give me mine, not that I give you. How dare you that?
Give mine you.
It's okay. It's okay. Let's just keep going.
Yep.
Let's just keep it moving.
That's what we do here.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
I like to move it, move it.
Not like that. Actually,
She likes to move it.
I actually used to play Dance Dance Revolution. Nope, you're going for the whole thing. All right, well, this has been taken down probably because of copyright.
I know, this is karaoke with Liesl, apparently.
Yeah, she's so good at it that they actually did think that, like we just stole the music. And
I feel like that's a compliment.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That is a compliment.
I'm going to take it as a compliment.
It was meant as one.
Okay, good.
All right, one more after this.
So, Mr. Ross,
Yes.
historically speaking, are the points supposed to go in a certain place?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It really just depended on the designer.
Yeah.
I tend to try to do it more evenly, but really it's up to you. This was mostly designed as a sort of weapon that could punch through basically solid steel armor. Because as plate armor started to become a thing, people were trying to figure out ways to get around it. As plate armor was mostly designed to deal with swords. Which swords had a very tough time of getting through it unless they were really, 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 really big. Not everybody wanted to carry around a really, really big sword, and it wasn't really practical on everything, like horseback. Carrying a really, really big sword on horseback isn't a great idea. Especially if you, like, fall off your horse with your really, really, really big sword.
Yeah.
You probably have some problems besides just having fallen off your horse. However, things like this were designed to help not only mounted units, but also foot soldiers have a much more portable way to do it.
Cool.
It also had the added bonus of just looking super cool.
Right? Because, yeah, these are super cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a certain suggestion for painting the styrofoam?
Yes, I have a couple.
Oh, cool.
So, the first bit, again, do not use spray paint.
I see.
The propellant, much like with the spray adhesive, will eat into the styrofoam, and you're just going to sit there and have like your styrofoam all melt away in a sort of chemical cloud, which is also poisonous. So don't do that.
Oh yeah, probably don't then.
I mean, it probably looks kind of cool, but I would not recommend it.
No.
Not without proper science instruction, and perhaps maybe just a full hazmat suit, something like that.
Yeah.
So, really, again, acrylic paint works just fine for this.
Okay,
An oil-based paint would be even better, but
Okay.
honestly, as long as it doesn't have any spray adhesive on it,
Yeah.
should be fine.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
yeah. And then, of course, if you want to go for a traditional Morningstar, it's going to be more of a dark, like iron color. Most of them weren't necessarily made of steel. They were just sort of cast iron. But,
All right. Yeah.
but if you, obviously it's your project. Make it look however you want. If you want to make it look like a big sun or something, that'd be pretty nifty.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Maybe something along the lines of like kind of a greenish tint to it, maybe if you wanted to make it look more organic. Like you're wielding just a giant, spore with thorns.
Yes.
So, yeah.
A thorn spore.
A thorn spore.
I like that idea of having it be like a sun where they go like around like that.
Yeah.
That could be really cool looking.
That would be a pretty neat design.
Oh my gosh. It'd be cool to have them go down like that and then also like that.
Very nice, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
gonna
you
have
will
to get more
have...
cones.
Yes. You will have 8 spikes in your kit, but absolutely feel free to grab some more.
Yeah.
They're just 4-inch long spikes. You can find them on Amazon or
Cool.
honestly probably Joann's or a number of other fine craft retailers. So
Definitely.
just any old craft retailers will do. The other thing too I recommend, especially for the base, is if you're using super glue, just reinforce with an additional type of glue.
Yeah.
That'll really help stabilize it. Like you can tell it's gonna stay, but it's a little shaky,
Yeah.
which is not ideal. So if you have like some of that specialized hot glue or just other types of glue to put in there, feel free to do so.
Awesome.
So,
Cool.
so a brand new project series. So if you've decided that maybe you're just done with the PVC pipes or you just want to try something a little different,
Absolutely.
we're going to be going to a different project next month.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to be looking into a way to make a special kind of shield. I wonder what that's going to look like.
Fun.
Interesting.
A shield sounds really cool.
Yeah, well, you got to have something to, beat this against.
Exactly.
So that way it makes
we should
cool
have
sounds.
an enormous war at the library at the end of a graduation from Costume Corner.
Yes. And you may use anything that you've built from this class.
Yes. We'll have a virtual war.
We've already got wands, we've got sickles,
We
we got a Morningstar, we're going to have a shield. There's so much more fun
It's
stuff
gonna be awesome.
coming up.
So many cool things.
And as always, if you have any suggestions or if you have your own creation that you've made, absolutely feel free to leave them in our
Oh my
comments.
gosh, absolutely.
We would love to see them. I'm always
love to see
cool
them.
to see like some neat projects y'all
Yeah.
are making.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure I'll post a picture of mine when it's done too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And of course, once mine's painted as well, I just need to let it dry for a bit before I'm ready to do that. So in the meantime, though, thank you so much for joining us for Costume Corner. And until next month, happy crafting.
Bye.
What can I say but you're welcome.